Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is 23rd of January 2021. And this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here with you all tonight. I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Good evening, Margaret. Good evening, Yvonne, Manish, and everyone, those who are joining us tonight. So, over those last week, I was talking about the benefit of a mindfulness meditation on the basis of the discourse called Ambapali, which comes in the Satipatthana Samyukta, the connected discourses on the establishment of a mindfulness. And on this, the Ambapali, as I mentioned, she was a royal courtesan, a dancer, and having heard that a Buddha was residing in her mango grove, she visited and she invited venerable monks along with the Buddha for the lunch, and offered that mango grove to the venerable Sangha as a temple where Buddha was staying at that time. So on that occasion, the Buddha invited venerable monks, saying that bhikkhus, and then Buddha went on teaching them that there are the direct path, the path that leads to the purification of beings, for the overcoming of a sorrow and lamentation, for the passing away of a pain and a displeasure, for the achievement of the method or the jnana, the wisdom, knowledge, and for the realization of nibbana. And in order to attain these 5 benefits, and which 5 benefits, again, sometimes people may say that it's 7 benefits, and basically it divides sorrow and lamentation as 2, and pain and displeasure as 2, and which makes 7 benefits. But according to the scripture, only 5 benefits. And the practice of the 4 foundations of a mindfulness brings these 5 benefits. And the Buddha further on saying that what for? So then here a bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. So this is the first practice. So the practice is the contemplating the body in the body. And here, contemplating body in the body is not like inside the body, not outside the body, but it is the body as a form. And we're paying attention to the body. And when we are paying attention to the body, further instructions given ardently, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, and having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. Ardent, the word ardent is a very, very interesting word. In Pali, it is called atapi. In ancient India, even now, there is a word called tapa. tapa means austerity. So basically you are austerely practicing. And here atapi is the urgent that you have put full effort in the practice. And with that practice, nothing is undone. Things that you have to do, things that you need to do, you have done. Yeah? And this is called atapi. There's another simile that quite interesting, is like a fish. So here a simile is given, a fish is like our mind. Now some of you may have seen when you take the fish out of the pond or out of the water and put it on a ground, the fish will tremble or try to search for its death to the water, and it will do everything to find the water. And our mind also like that. The moment when we concentrate on object without letting this mind to engage in any other activities that is habit patterns, mind normally doesn't like. That's why when we practice meditation, when we are paying attention to the bodily contemplation, mind always think about something else, always wanting to do about something else. And that we normally call it distraction. So that is how our mind is, because our habit pattern is so that we have been conditioned from day one we born until we come to know about the meditation. Always we are feeding our desire 24/7 days. And we are always following its wish, its desire. And this habit pattern being conditioned in that way, and suddenly when we want to change, then it's not easy. And that's how our mind always drifts away to something else. And it takes significant amount of a practice and a mindful awareness that I am paying attention to my body. And with that, gradually, mind becomes used to with it and familiar with it. And with that, the meditation becomes more stronger, concentration becomes more established. So that's why we have to put a lot of effort to pay attention to on the object. And this first object here is given bodily contemplation in the entire body. So paying attention to the entire body. Another time I also use this word atapi and a simile. It's like taking our mind and then put it in a cooking pan and you fry it. It's like a live fish. You're frying it and this fish will be jumping around. Jumping on a frying pan. So like that. And our mind is like that. We are trying to put this into the concentrating on the object, the bodily contemplation, and then this doesn't want to be in the body. It just wants to go here and there, the past or the future, as a habit pattern. So, a practitioner, one who is practicing, has to have a great effort to put this mind concentrating on the object, the primary object. The first object is the bodily contemplation. And that is called atapi. Striving ardently. Nothing that is undone. You're fully absorbed in that practice continuously. And here, atapi, or the ardent, is not like you're practicing only when you're sitting. Not like you're scheduled to practice only sitting meditation 1 hour on the date of this one, and then walking meditation for half an hour on that, like that. No. The urgent practice now should be practicing continuously without a break in every state of the bodily postures. So that's why in the satipatthana it comes with the practice of breathing meditation, and then it extended, break it down into this bodily contemplation, break it down into different small subdivisions. So it's starting from breathing, contemplating on a breathing, and then contemplating on postures, 4 postures. That's the standing, walking, sitting, lying down. So on these 4 postures. And further on, you're breaking it down into the minor postures. Turning round, turning left, turning right, sitting, walking, eating, drinking, wearing a clothes, all. So you're breaking it down into small sub-minor activities. You're developing your awareness. And further on, as you break it down into small positions, what will happen that you will be contemplating that each and every little things, the activity is taking place. And these all basically is made of the elements, 4 elements. And as a result of that, this 4 element is subject to decay and is going, decaying, fading away, and at the end of the day, it vanishes. So that is how you put an effort to be mindful on the bodily contemplation. And with this, not only putting effort and paying attention to the objects of bodily contemplation, but you have to have a clear comprehension or clear awareness, or you have a full awareness. So that's why it's called a clear comprehension. It's called sampajanya. This is part of the wisdom. You have to know that you are paying attention to these each and every activities. You have clearly known and able to comprehend it completely each time, each moment when it is taking place, when it is happening. Comprehension, or fully aware. You're fully present at that time. Yeah? When you are fully present at that time, then your mind definitely in the present moment, you become a very mindful of every small details of it. And with that, what happens is the thought of covetousness will just goes away. And then this pleasure in regards to the world also fades away, because the covetousness and this pleasure is basically not knowing, not having fully understood. We have those covetousness and displeasure. So this is the first practice in the 4 foundations of a mindfulness. And the second one is that he dwells contemplating, feeling in the feeling, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. Now here, these ardent, clear comprehension, mindful, having removed the covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. It will repeat again and again. Simply, it reminds that it doesn't matter what we are paying attention to on the object. We have to have these 5 qualities. We have put full effort. We know correctly, detailedly, and then continuously aware of that. We are paying attention to it, we know clearly, and then continuously. Meanwhile, we have no covetousness and displeasure over it. So the second practice is the contemplating in feeling. And here, feeling, basic term, there are 3 types of feelings. That is pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling. And here again, when we talk about pleasant feeling, it can be bodily pleasant feeling and it can be mental pleasant feelings called somanassa. Yeah? Sukha is a bodily sukha, and then somanassa, mental sukha, yeah? Mentally feeling pleasure or happiness. In terms of unpleasant sensation or unpleasant feeling, it also can be bodily and also mentally. It's called dukkha and domanassa. Dukkha is a physical pain, a physical feeling, and domanassa is the mental displeasure, mental feelings. And there is a neutral feeling, yeah? The balance, neutral feeling. And here, these about these feelings, I mentioned yesterday in the practice of a meditation. I explained it and how we watch it and how we contemplate on that. So this is the second practice of a mindfulness meditation, is contemplating feeling in the feeling. And then the third one is called he dwells contemplating mind in the mind, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. So this is the third practice that we have to practice. That is contemplating mind, contemplating about the mind. Yeah? And here, contemplating the mind, there are so many categories because our mind is so difficult to recognize or observe. Immediately, it can change according to the conditions that we are in. The condition can change every second, every moment. Suppose, I can give you an example. Suppose you went to work in your office, or you were working from the home, and you come across with very difficult customer, or very difficult boss, or very difficult colleague. It makes you frustration, angry, and then irritated, like that. And that is because the condition that you are in, or an environment that you are in, making you to be in that state of the mind. Now, that condition can be changed. Suppose your partner or your son, your daughter or your friend realize that you are in that irritated state of the mind, feeling very angry, and he or she suddenly comes and tells you some joke, changing the environment, changing the situation, making you laugh, making you have fun, and forgetting all those previous environments or conditioned mind. So the mind changed into a new condition, new habit pattern. And with that, we see early on it was negative, sad, irritation, angry, frustration. And whereas now, because your friend or your partner or anyone who has made you laugh and change, your mind state has changed into positive or laughing. Basically, your environment has changed, and with this, your state of the mind become different. So, practice of a mindfulness meditation helps us to recognize that how my mind in that particular state, so-called a chitta, in that particular state. And then, every moment, how my mind is changing. First, we have to recognize that my mind is in that state. And then, suddenly, as we pay attention to that, then that also changes based on other conditions. So that's why when we are contemplating in the satipatthana, the chitta, the mind says, when you know that you have a greed, you know you have a greed. Lustful, you know you have a lustful mind. Like that, so on. Okay? And here again, you have to pay these 5 principles. Ardently practicing, ardently paying attention, and having a full comprehension about it, full comprehension, or fully aware of it, what's happening. And with that, you have a continuous awareness of that incident or that state of the mind before, while it is, and then after. And with that, we will be able to overcome this covetousness and displeasure. Yeah? So this is the third practice. And the fourth practice is called he dwells contemplating phenomena in phenomena. Urgent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. And here phenomena is English translation for the Dhammanupassana, Dhamma. Now here, the word Dhamma has got so many different meanings. If I am not wrong, there are 71 different definitions for the Dhamma itself. Yeah? So that's why the translation for the Dhamma is very broad, very subtle. Sometimes people translate it as a natural law. The Dhamma is a natural law. Sometimes it's translated as phenomena, or sometimes it is translated as the teachings, and other time people translate it as the reality, the truth, like that. And here the English translation phenomena appears quite related, or it covers almost all those the translation of the Dhamma. And here in the practice of the meditation, when we are contemplating the Dhamma, in my understanding, we don't have to think about this Dhammanupassana at all, because it will appear one after another as we are paying attention to the citta, our mind. First, how our mind conditioned, and how our mind changing. And here, the changing mind basically based on it is called hindrances that always hindering our practice. Our mind always tend to attract it by sensual pleasure. Yeah, sensual pleasure. And then when we do not get it what we want, or we do not attain, or our wish is not fulfilled, in that moment we become ill will. Yeah, we generate this ill will, the thought of ill will. So these are the Dhammas. The practice, as we practice, we see that how our mind is conditioning, and as we practice, gradually we will be able to detect them, and then slowly able to remove it one after another. Yeah? And here, the reason why we are practicing in these ways is simply to understand the natural law of the phenomena. It's called the characteristics of nature of change. Changing nature. Nothing is permanent. Everything changes. And that is the true phenomena that we have to realize through the practice. And this is called 3 characteristics, or tilakkana. 3 characteristics. That's number 1 is called anicca, or impermanent. Nothing is permanent. And now in Buddhist arena, we have a saying, there is only one thing that is permanent, which is impermanent. The concept of impermanent. And nothing is permanent there. And then why we suffer, why we have a trouble, and that's simply because we cannot accept the nature of change, and which causes us dissatisfaction, and we become suffering. We don't want to get old. We don't want to get sick. We don't want to die in a broad sense. But it is a natural process that we have to get old, and then we will get ill, and then eventually, whether we like it or not, death is there. And because of these, we have this natural suffering. Yeah? The second the characteristics is suffering, or the dukkha. So we have to realize this dukkha. Now, once we realize this dukkha, what we will understand that things that is impermanent, we cannot take it as a permanent, including our own self. Our self also impermanent, but we cannot accept it, and as a result we suffer. So that's the last one, is anatta, is non-self, which is again, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the hardest topic to discuss. So that's a non-self. Okay? And the practice of a Dhammanupassana simply is to understand these three characteristics of the nature: anicca, dukkha, and anatta, or impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Once we realize that, then it brings these the 5 benefits that I have mentioned. So that's why whoever walks on these 4 establishment of foundations, the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, or Dhammanupassana, or contemplating the body, feeling, mind, and a phenomena, this is the way leading to the attainment of these 5 benefits. What are these 5 benefits? Number 1, purification of all beings. Number 2, overcoming sorrow and lamentation. Number 3, the passing away of the pain and displeasure. Number 4, achievement of the knowledge or the method. And number 5, attainment of the Nibbana. So that is the foundation. That is the way. That's why it is known as the way. Only way that leads to the attainment of these 5 benefits. And the way is the practice of establishment of 4 foundations of mindfulness. Okay, so I end here for tonight, and then that means we end this first discourse on Ambapali of the Satipatthana Samyutta. So thank you everyone for listening, and may you all be well and happy. In a few moments time we're going to have evening chanting and then guided meditation. You are most welcome to join with us as well. Until then, good night and see you shortly. Sadhu, thank you.